Hey Corey, Hassa here. Sorry, it's almost my bedtime. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, Mountain Standard Time. Anyways, I wanted to do a quick entry into your contest, a concert experience. Um, let's go back. My latest experience that I can say was an adventure was just over a month ago. But I ordered my tickets back in July. It was for the Pearl Jam show in Calgary, which is about 2 hours north of me. And I'm a member of the fan club, so I was able to I put in for the lottery, and I could have got general admission seats or reserved seats, and I put in for reserved. And then it goes based on seniority, how you're seated. So I got an email back in a couple days after, and I won the lottery, so I got reserved seats. But you don't find out until the day of the show when you get your tickets what your seats are. It was my third Pearl Jam show, and it was getting better and better as far as seats were. But this was the first time that I had gotten uh, 10 club seats. So building up, following the tour on Facebook, all the set lists and stuff, and getting closer and closer to my date, and I was just I was pretty thrilled, right? They're one of my favorite bands, and it turns out on the day or the night before the show, I worked 11 p.m. till 7:30 a.m. Doing road maintenance here in my city, Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada, and a storm. I'd been following online or on my phone the weather app for weather that was going to come to our area, or more specifically to Calgary. And fishy, fishy. And they were calling for snow, and it was gradually getting worse as I followed. As I got closer to December 2nd was the date of the show, and the night before we go to work, and we were expecting in the area, coming from the north, a winter storm warning, aka a blizzard, coming from the north. They were calling for 25 centimeters of snow or more, winds, low visibility, etc., etc. I mean, it was not getting any better. It was getting worse. And the only thought that I had was, I'm not missing the show. I'm not missing this show. Because, well, I had fan club seats. A buddy of mine who alerted me before I got the email alert from the 10 Club was going to go with me. And if I couldn't get tickets, he couldn't go. So I went to work that night, and I knew I was going to get home, get little sleep, and get up and hit the road by myself. And right before, about an hour before we were done in the morning, it started to snow, and the wind changed direction, started coming from the north, and it turned into an absolute shit show for the last hour of work. It was just stupid, and my thought was, I'm not working overtime. I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna get some sleep, and I'm going to the show. I don't give a shit what happens. My biggest fear, even as I got home and laid in bed, was my biggest fear was not the weather or the conditions, but the fact that I was going to miss an epic show. Famous last words. I got about 3 hours of sleep, got up. My wife had been watching the Weather Network, texting her sister who lives in Calgary, and pretty much everything was against road travel. If you didn't have to, don't. But I'm not. I have to go. And I was getting cussed up and down. If it's too bad, you turn around and come back. And yeah. I dressed up. I had long underwear underneath my clothes. I was decked out. I had food, whatever, in case something shitty happened, something bad happened, and I got stranded on the way to Calgary. Um, and I hit the road. My plan was to drive up from Lethbridge to my buddy's house, which normally in nice weather and dry roads, it's about an hour and a half to hour and 45 minutes to get to Calgary. And then give or take where you have to go, that much more time. But I had to, once I got to Calgary, it took me just over 2 hours. The roads were pretty bare on the way there, but it was low visibility. But like I said, I was amped. I was not going to miss a show if there was a way, because I work doing road maintenance in the wintertime, so I plow roads. I work in shitty weather, so I'm used to driving and that kind of stuff. Whatever. I had a 4-wheel drive. So I drove up there. It took me just over 2 hours. Got into the city, started making my way, and it was right about time when traffic gets bad, plus the weather, because there was a blizzard coming in. And it took me another hour and a half to get to his place, my friend John's place. But I made it. And I got there, and it was just excitement, and friends that he had made plans with that were also going to go, who lived half an hour away, were too scared and chicken shit to even drive in. So I just said, I don't care. I'm here. We're here. We're gonna go. We're gonna have a fun time. So we did what we had to do. We got downtown, got to the Saddle Dome. I went and got my tickets, and I got 11th row on the floor, which the best seats that I've ever had. And so uh, we grabbed some beers. We just took it all in. Mudhoney was the opener. The show they started at 11:30. Pearl Jam came on at approximately 8:45, and right from the get-go, it was an epic show. The first 3 songs out the gate were, I don't know how well you know Pearl Jam, but they played Of the Girl, Hard to Imagine, and Nothing Man. And it set the tone for the entire evening. And there was a sense, I mean, even with all the weather, that lots of people weren't going to be able to make it. They were going to have to sell their tickets or try to. But the Saddle Dome was about 90% capacity. I mean, people really made an effort to get to the show. And there was just a sense of, we made it. That we were, that you just took in. It was in the air. It was excitement. There was so much energy, and the crowd, or the band, fed off of it. And even before the show started, and we found our seats, and I was talking to some people who were around us, and we were just names and what do you do, where you're from, etc., etc. And I told them that I work for the city of Lethbridge, that I work on the roads, and in the wintertime I run sand truck, plow truck, and whatever. And it came to the the encore break. I think it was the first encore break, and the band came out, and Eddie said to the crowd, he addressed, we checked with the meteorologist, and it's still cold, so we're going to stay inside and play for a while. No, and the place just erupted. It was just crazy. And he talked about in Seattle they have maybe like 2 plow trucks, sand trucks, and he saluted in the area all the plow truck and sand truck drivers and guys around me that found out what I was doing. They're all shoving me, hey, they're talking about you, blah 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 blah, and I'm just giggling. I mean, it was just a great moment. And then he proceeded to sing by himself the Mr. Plow song from The Simpsons, which he's never done before and will probably never do again. So it was a one-off, rare thing, and it was one of the, it really stands out. So I know it's been a little long-winded. Here's my ticket stub from the show. Boop, boop, boop. Lightning Bolt Tour. Here is a sticker, and the controversy. The province I live in, the sticker says Pearl Jam, Alberta, Calgary. Alberta is not the city. Calgary is the city. So it's backwards. So, kind of a cool thing there. And then, excuse me for a second. I did get a t-shirt. There you go. Pearl Jam. And then the back with the tour dates. And on ours, where it says, it's supposed to see, the abbreviation for Alberta is AB. But you can see this, it says ALB. Whatever. It makes it unique. It makes it special. It was a hell of a time. And definitely a memory. So, congrats on your 300 subs. And cheers.